Greetings to all. I am Fazer. At this moment, I would like to engage in a discussion about the topic of human morality and emphasize the utmost importance of being human. But you can immediately ask, why is this human morality needed? What does she even give? What benefit does she bring? Why even disclose it? Here's the thing. I classify people into the category of decent people and the category of dishonest people. So what are they different in general? Decent from indecent. A decent person first of all respects themselves. He does not deceive himself. It is very important for him who he communicates with, who his environment is, who watches himself, his words, respects others. An untrustworthy person, capable of deceiving others and engaging in harmful actions that ultimately destroy both himself and society, causing negative consequences in the process. You can talk a lot about morality, but not everyone understands morality. Not everyone understands this as bad or good. Why is it that some individuals definitely comprehend this concept of human morality while it appears foreign to others for some comprehension? Based on this moral code, an individual categorizes certain actions of another individual, which the latter has undertaken, as providing assistance in their challenging struggle, offering guidance, and treating them with heartfelt understanding. And another person, let's say, is rude, humiliates, insults, doesn't take responsibility for their words, somehow tries to belittle and confirm their inner self by taking advantage of the weak, like I'm such a cool person, look, I supposedly offended the weak. So, I am stronger, I have such an advantage. As they say, with great power comes great responsibility. And for each word you need to be able to explain and tell. You, for example, go to the store, someone, for example, asks you, "What are you doing here?" Just seems like a strange question, but explain what you're doing here, why you're walking down the street here. That is, accordingly, for each action you must explain what you say, what you do. Suppose, for example, I'm dictating a monologue right now and explain what you're doing. I am currently sitting in the studio and recording a monologue specifically to enlighten and make some people understand the essence of this monologue. That is, for every consequence, for every word spoken, there are corresponding actions that are being executed. In other words, if you said something, you can be caught for that word. If you say something inappropriate about yourself while getting carried away in your speech, then accordingly, you will immediately be classified as a dishonest person, because you have already revealed something, or you have not anticipated something somewhere. But silence is still worth adhering to. No wonder they say silence is golden and words are silver. Of course, it is very difficult to do in the blogging sphere, because here you constantly have to say something, and accordingly more questions arise here. Reply to this word, reply to this word, reply to this quote, reply to this, and I am of the belief that it is the proper position to carefully observe your words, what you say. It is very important who surrounds you in this society, because based on the person you communicate with, they can classify you as who you are. So, in the event that you engage in communication with an individual who is dishonest, causing harm to their health, insulting others and their dignity, it can be inferred that said person lacks respect and recognition within society accordingly. Well, you simply communicate with this individual there in a friendly manner, you get in contact with him. Accordingly, people may think that you are also a part of this person because you are in certain contact with him. Immediately, respect for you also falls because you are communicating with such a representative. I have seen many times such people who try to show off there, to look cooler in the eyes of others, to try to belittle the weak and gain some cheap authority for themselves at the expense of the weak. But understand that for every cool person, there is an even cooler one who will devour you just like you devoured this weak one. We are all not immortal, unfortunately. We are all food for someone and predators for someone whom we can devour. However, the true manifestation of humanity is unveiled when you opt not to devour the weak, but instead to uplift them, to bestow upon them confidence in their own abilities, to inspire them to reach greater heights, and to empower them to become as strong and resilient as you are. By relying on weakness, you are not showing your true strength, but you are showing your weakness. True strength is to help a weak person. This is your true generosity. This is your inner strength. Where is the probability that the person you offended yesterday somehow hurt his feelings, somehow showed himself strong in relation to him, What's the likelihood that the person you offended yesterday won't be able to get even with you tomorrow? Just different life circumstances. Today you have money, you feel internal superiority, you manage to somehow hurt the feelings of this person. And tomorrow everything falls apart, you're left with nothing, and this person settles scores with you somehow. Simply because you did not demonstrate any sense of comprehension to this individual. I detest falsehoods the most. I hate dishonest people who lie with every word, and I really hate lies. When a person lies about something, when he tries to somehow evade the truth for the sake of his petty goal, for the sake of some petty benefit. A lie is basically a facade. A person simply puts on this mask of lies, and I immediately lose any sense of respect for such individuals who resort to deception. I do not respect people who try to deceive others, to somehow elevate themselves at the expense of deception. But you will inquire of me, what is the power of truth? Truth, it has elucidated actions. Lie has no explained actions. Someone was deceived by a lie, let's say. It has no explanations for what it did. The lie just put on a mask. The truth requires clarification. The truth requires an explanation for every action of lies. If you said that, explain. Confirm the truth of your words. And, accordingly, if a person confirms all these words with some actions, with arguments, with facts, then the truth deserves trust in this case. And in this case, the lie tries to somehow evade, somehow deviate from the topic, some kind of constantly like that, puts on a mask. Accordingly, I communicated with different people, and there are those who professionally put on this whole mask. It is simply impossible to tear it off. It seems to be just a part of the person, like some kind of genuine natural thing. Such people, they are professional manipulators in general. They blend in very well with trust. It is difficult to remove them from your neck later, like to tear off this mask. At times, the truth is found in the way people treat you during challenging circumstances. You are left alone with yourself, and in such moments you realize who your real friend is, who really helps you, who will really come to your aid, will extend that helping hand that will help you somehow get out of this pit. Or you will witness how much people will turn away from you, how indifferent you will be to such individuals. There are also situations when you come face to face with your fear. Regardless of the situation, you experience fear when you encounter certain challenges in your life. Some problem arises, some internal fear appears. Here, such a key moment also defines a person. Either you go against this fear or you accept this fear, and this fear devours you. So I notice such a pattern: when I overcome some fear, it seems twice as difficult to me. I don't know what, but you feel twice as confident after this. If this fear devours you, and you accept the rules of this fear, then fear devours you, it turns out. And you're going double negative. For example, I have a feeling of fear. It constantly appears when I have to go on stage now. I constantly go on stage, but before that I get very nervous. And I must consistently overcome this fear in order to end up on stage, where a bunch of individuals will be watching you with great attention. On every occasion, naturally, I experience nervousness prior to going on stage, but I consistently conquer this fear and proceed onto the stage. From the viewpoint of others, you will already appear more respectable compared to those individuals who were too afraid and did not have the courage to come on stage. Undoubtedly, everyone has heard such a phrase: a man said, a man did. In other words, if you articulated it, it signifies that you will undertake this objective. You will pass, despite all these trials, and you will accomplish this task exactly as you said in your words. Then words possess value for this individual. He expresses that a particular action will take place, and he carries it out accordingly. Despite all the difficulties, despite all the excuses, without dressing for the weather, what I said today, and tomorrow I changed clothes for different weather, I said, no guys, this is too difficult, this is unacceptable. Well, why did you say it then if you said it and you didn't do it? So, in my words, you are a person who does not take responsibility for their words, does not take responsibility for what they say and for their actions. Nowadays, the majority in society is such that they do not attach importance to words, that is, they can promise and easily not fulfill. For modern society, this seems normal. No one will cling to words here. There will be no boring monologue to push for half an hour. The importance of watching your words. And with such individuals, I completely lose the desire to communicate, cooperate, and engage in any future activities with them. By such an act, you harmed people, causing them to turn away and failed to meet their expectations. And you deceived yourself, it turns out. You didn't deceive them, you deceived yourself. You let them deceive you. So it's normal for you. Deceived once, deceived twice, deceived 3 times. And now it seems normal to you. It has become a habit for you to constantly deceive people. That's the whole problem. I read something like this somewhere, I don't remember where, that figuratively shows what hell is for people and what paradise is. Let's say you have 2 doors. In one of them, you enter the door and see a bunch of people sitting at one table. A group of people are sitting around a big table, and in the middle of the table is a huge bowl of food. And this bowl has a lot of spoons. Everyone has 1 spoon each. There is real chaos there, because all the people from this table, each one wants to feed themselves with this big spoon. But since the spoon is too big, they can't do it, and in the end they remain angry, hungry, dissatisfied. They unleash this anger on each other. A real chaos has formed, because these people cannot solve this problem. They cannot feed themselves with these huge spoons. And here you go out of this door, and you open another door, the second one already. There's exactly the same table, there's exactly the same bowl, there are exactly the same spoons. But there people are all dressed up, satisfied, love each other, they feed each other with these big spoons. So it is not possible for you to reach your own mouth with this spoon. And every person nourishes the other individual by making use of this spoon. And thus the very paradise was formed, when each person cares for each other. In first door, it turns out every egoist, everyone tries to nourish selves. Due to this, that chaos arose. To accept or not to accept is up to you, but I think you'll glean something from it. In general, friends, understanding, kindness, love to everyone. Fazer was with you. Goodbye to all.